Hi, welcome to some ideas to use fat quarters with GourmetQuilter. I'm Susan Clare, GourmetQuilter, and we're doing 20 different ideas using 20 fat quarters basically. So what we did, this is part 2, so this is idea number 2. What we did in idea number 1 was cut up all the fat quarters into similar pieces, and we labelled them so that we've got a whole lot of little stacks of different fabrics with different labels on, but with 20, they'll all have 20 colours in each stack. So that throughout the 20 projects we'll be using these different stacks with their different labels on. So all of that was part 1. Now we're doing idea number 2, and what we're doing this time is a nice rectangle block that we could make up into a quilt like this. So by using the 20 different fabrics, we can make a quilt like that, and adding a background, and I've used the stripe for a little narrow border in the binding, and I've also included it in the block so that it kind of just brings it all together. So whilst we're using the 20 fat quarters, by using another fabric as well and a background, we have just made a nice quilt. So I'll just quickly run through. There's a pattern which is a downloadable one, so each day we're doing a video with a downloadable pattern with the new idea using these 20 fat quarters. So there's all sorts of specific cutting instructions. It tells you which pieces we need in the way of the ones that we've already cut from the fat quarters, and we need piece 2A and 2B this time. If we're going to use a stripe or another contrast, we need to cut some of those, and as I said, all of that's mentioned, the borders are there, everything's there to show you how to do it. So what we're going to do is we'll have 20 of this piece, which is the top part of the block, and we'll have 20 for the bottom. We actually only need 18. There's actually only 18 of these blocks, and we also need an alternate block of the background, and there's 17 of those. So because we only need 18 of these, we can set aside, so from this quilt here, these are my leftovers, so 2 of each size, and we may well use those in another project. In the meantime, we don't need them for this project, so just take 2 away. Otherwise we can make the blocks up, but I'm just going to show you, I'll make a couple of blocks today just to show you quickly, because you can, it's a fun little block, it's quick and easy, nothing hard about this. So I've just got enough here to show you the 2. So all we're trying to do really is put together a contrast or stripe in between those 2 pieces. So it really is as simple as that. We're just using 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you can chain piece these through. If you're looking for a fairly quick quilt, this would work really well. So there's no reason why you have to use the 20 fat quarters of course. This quilt could be made using any number of different fabrics, but because we're doing 20 ideas for 20 fat quarters, it's part of this little idea pack. So that's part of the block already done. So now we can go through and we can put the other pieces on as well. So you want to move them around. We're not putting the 2 of the same colour in the same block, so that makes it look really fun. We can have different colours together. So that's 2 of our blocks made already, and we only need 18, so looking pretty good. It doesn't matter which way you press the seams, but I quite like to press them into that contrast. They don't sit next to each other, so we're not trying to nestle seams, because they will alternate with the alternate plain block. It makes it even easier as far as placement goes, not trying to match up seams or anything. So really, once we've got our blocks made, we just need our alternate blocks, and we can put them together into rows. And it doesn't have to be this stripe, of course, that I have here. It could be another colour that you really like that would work throughout with the colours that you're using. And then I am suggesting, but of course you don't have to do it, that you could put that in the border and the binding just to sort of bring it all together. Because we're using small amounts of the 20 fat quarters, it doesn't really allow for borders and things in that way. So that was just the fun little rectangle block to make a nice little quilt with. You might find that you want to make a bigger quilt. You can add more borders, you could add more colours around it. You might want to make a smaller quilt, or you might like to just make this quilt. So that was Fat Quarter idea number 2. I will see you again, thank you, with Fat Quarter idea number 3.